I wanted to go over the Survey123 form really quickly to let everybody know some of the features that we built into it and how to use it. This form was built kind of based on some of the errors and things we had noticed over the years about people entering data into spreadsheets, and just in an effort to make this easier and quicker for everybody involved. So when you pull up the link, you do have the option to open it in a browser like this or in your Survey123 app. If you're out in the field and you want to use this, you can open it in the Survey123 app and collect it right there out on the boat, whatever you'd like to do. I personally like to do it later when I get back to the office after scribbling my notes on a field sheet. This is set up exactly in the same order and with the same language as the field data sheet that we've been using for a number of years. So if you do fill that sheet out when you're outside collecting data, everything should be in the same order and it should look very, very familiar. So we have several things built in to make data entry faster, depending on the options that you choose. So if a site is previously known, you'll see the colony name and colony code pop up, and we've preloaded past entries. So if an island has had data entered on it before, most likely it's in here. We are still getting a few of the newer sites in. So if you know that an island's a few years old and you don't see it, contact us and let us know. Or if it's a new colony, you can put a new site name in and your compiler will assign a colony ID later. But let's go ahead and act like we have a previously known site. If you do the drop down, you can see we've got a lot of islands listed here. I'm just going to pick one here randomly, marker 52. And I have a spot here for the colony code. And a lot of people don't remember the colony code off the top of their head. And that's perfectly all right. We have plenty of things that we're trying to keep up with right now. If I hit calculate answer, this is actually pulling from another layer of previously entered data, and it enters the colony code. Now, if I accidentally put the wrong island in, and I'm like, oh, wait, I don't want to do that. You can, instead of getting the drop down, you are going to have to hit the backspace or delete key on your computer. And then you can come in again and pick a new one, and it'll refill. I'll put in my survey date. Let's say I did this last week. I can do my start time and my end time. Down here, I have the colony status. If I select that a colony is active, that opens up different questions that'll pop up down here, including where I'll enter my species count data below. But sometimes we get out there and a site isn't active anymore, right? There's no reason for you to have to see all of that. So if you do enter that a site is inactive, you pretty much just fill out the rest of the form, hit upload, and be done. So we also have the option that it's not surveyed. This is often something that the compilers will fill out. We do want to keep a record of sites that aren't surveyed so that we know there's a difference between zeros that were an inactive site and zeros in that, hey, we just didn't get out to that site before. We've also added a category for destroyed, submerged. You know, sometimes islands erode away, and we do want to mark those in the database so that we don't worry about them anymore. You know, we can put them on a list to talk about future restoration or things like that. But let's pretend that our site is active. I mean, it's High Island. I hope it's active, right? Then we'll come down here to the colony location, and we've had a lot of issues with lat longs in the past, and we want to make sure that our data is as complete as possible. Now, I'm old, and I like a big map, so I'm actually going to click this button right here to make the map bigger. And I'm going to scroll in here and go over here to High Island and plot my point down. And to plot my point, I just click with my mouse where I want it. Now, if I put it in the wrong spot, if I wanted to put it over here or over here, whatever, I just re-click and finish it. If I'm out on the boat at the time and I'm using it on my phone, I can use the Find My Location, and it will pop it there. And I can also use the buttons here to zoom in and out to get it as exact as possible. Once I get it where I want it, you can also see that I have my lat long down here. So if I did know the lat long, I could just type it in or copy paste from a spreadsheet. I just hit the X button here. You'll notice that point is staying where it is. I'll put in my name. And this blank should cache your answer, meaning every time that I enter data on this computer, it should remember my name, which is helpful. You know, you don't want to type things over and over. And then I'll put my observers for the day. And my survey vantage point was from an adjacent area. Again, this is all from the old form, so it should look very familiar. Now I'm doing this as an example, and High Island is a very complex site, but I'm just going to fill out a couple of species to show you how this works. So we'll come down here. Let's say I wanted to record my great egrets. I'll click this little triangle and I'll get my drop down. Now out there, I'm pretending I saw nestlings while I was there. Notice I can also scroll down. My nest survey type, I did a total count of those guys, and I saw, I don't know, 100. I can also record my survey type for my adults. Notice that we did add drone analysis because a lot of folks are starting to do that now. We also have conversion factor, and if you did something different, we do have notes at the bottom, so you can put other and specify it down at the bottom. But great egrets are pretty big, so easy to count. Let's say 200 of those, right? Now, with the colonial waterbirds data, our big metric that we always share is pairs. So please, please, please put your pairs in. It doesn't matter as much on the nest or the adults. You know, when you go out to do a big colony, sometimes you might just count the adults and kind of do a visual estimate on the fly of how many pairs that is. What I really, 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 really need you to fill out is the pairs. So we'll say we did a visual estimate of my pairs and 100. And as I go down, you know, I can pick other species. I'm going to say I just estimated my pairs while I was out in the field of these roseates, and I had 60. And you see how that goes. Again, all the species are in the same order as they are on that field data sheet. I can put stuff down here in my notes. Alligators, very active. You can also put notes here like, you know, colony recently washed out, colony looks to need some restoration on a bank, whatever. In the past, we've had people record things like black ducks or American oyster catcher, green heron, species that we don't necessarily record. You can put those here. And also in the past, people have recorded reddish egret phases, color phases. For right now, we just have one blank for the reddish egret. But if you did collect information on white versus red morphs, you can put that information down here in the survey notes. So you can put, hey, I had half white, half red morphs, whatever. Then you can upload your field sheet. So you would click it there, and you could go in and find your file, click it, open it, and it will upload. If you are, you know, like me, you scribbled in a notebook, you could take a picture of it with your phone and select the image this way. So that's just a random picture of my computer. We also added where you could add some site photos. So let's say you're out there and you notice that one of the rock groins needs a little bit of repair. You know, you took a picture of it while you were out there, or you saw something strange that you need to report for whatever reason. Same thing, you can drop and enter a picture and upload it. Or if you're using your phone again, you can actually take a photo. And when you're done with all of this, you know, if you want, you can scroll back through, double check your work. but then you just hit submit and it's done slowly because I added those pictures. It took a minute. If you need to submit another one, you can click there and your form starts up again. And notice I have my name ready to go. And if I turn on that it was an active site, I'll see my observers are ready to go as well. So that's it. If you have any issues while using the form, please contact myself, Amanda Hackney, or Alexis Baldera. Yeah, this is a new form for us to use. And in my experience, these forms kind of evolve over time. So, we're going to continually make it better based on feedback from the users.